Well, coming straight off the heels of our look at the NBK KO of Gravity Builder, or Devastator if you will, we take a look at something else that's green. This time it is the Transformers The Last Night Deluxe class Crosshairs. And I've had this guy for a while. I've done some custom paint apps on him. I kind of didn't care to look at him until now. Does that mean he's good? Bad? Well, we're going to find out, and I'm going to sort of explain how this guy is a basis for my thoughts about the Transformers Cyberverse line. We're going to talk about all of that in the latest GotBot True review. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. It is fantastic that you're here again. As always, check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, and me everywhere, as well as Transformers Collectors NL. Like, comment, share, and of course subscribe. Stick around, have some fun with us. Let me know what you think about these guys. I want to start off by giving a couple of quick shout outs here to Dreadhawk A, DREADHWK, and then A, Black Bolt 1, Stony Games, and Keelan Hogan. Thanks for coming along for the ride. What can I say? I also want to give a shout out here to a couple of other people. Megatron, I think is his name, from the TFW boards, as well as Emily and Ben. A little while ago I did a look at something that I thought was a KO. It was my understanding from the person who asked me to take a look at it that it was a KO, and in fact he was wrong and misinformed, as was I. And I asked you guys, hey, if you know anything about it, please let me know. And the thing that I thought was a not Slipstream, or like I like to call her, She Clonus, is in fact not a knockoff at all. It's its own thing indeed. Still, I mean, it's good, but it is its own thing, and I appreciate the clarification by referring to, you know, people just like you. This is part of the reason why I do this stuff, because I also get an opportunity to learn sometime. The bot I'm referring to was in episode 422, and it's actually the Jia Qi, I'm not even sure I'm pronouncing that right, Ling Yao, and it's part of a set of 10 apparently. Who knew? Who knew? But on to Crosshairs here. Actually, I should kind of bring that down more on his back. I've been meaning to get to this guy for a while. Sorry, especially to movie fans. I did do a bunch of custom paint apps on him, small ones, but I think that they did add to him, and I've seen some fantastic work. Like I said, is this good or is it bad? It's sort of a mixed bag, really. But like I said, it's going to sort of be a basis, and I'll talk about this after, for my thoughts regarding the new Transformers Cyberverse line. Now, I've been hard on the Last Night movie figures, though I have enjoyed the studio series. So where does this guy fit in? Am I going to be hard on him? Well, let's head over to the table and take a closer look at him. So, of course, I understand that this is kind of in a left field right now. It's certainly something that I'm doing where I'm kind of behind the 8 ball, so to speak, because it's an older figure now. It's from the Transformers The Last Night line. You know, it's my custom Crosshairs. I've been meaning to look at the guy for a long time, but other things came up, other priorities, other things I was more interested in showcasing. I didn't even pick this guy up until fairly recently. You know, he was on sale. Why not? I tend to use the character in stop motions and really didn't have a proper version of him, so why not pick this thing up and, you know, kind of add in a few paint apps, although I've seen some beautiful jobs done. I didn't want to go to that extent with him. I didn't care about the guy enough to go into that extent, but I did want to make him a little bit more animation accurate. And in a way, this guy is indeed a kind of example, a little bit of I guess a commentary, if you will, on why I'm really not going to cover the Cyberverse line, or I don't foresee myself covering that. Who knows? I mean, anything can happen, but it's not a lot I'm in for. And this guy is a good example of why I'm not covering that, as odd as that sounds. Of course, we're going to look at everything to do with him and his paint apps, his posability, playability, and his transformation. So, as always, we're going to start out very quickly looking at the box. And like, it's a box from Transformers The Last Night. There's a little picture of Crosshairs down bottom. I like the background inside, you know, Autobot symbol and Premier Edition. Yeah. Crosshairs and nice art over here. Back here is fine. Look, I've been really big on the Studio Series, or fairly big on Studio Series. But again, I don't see the point of this box. This was a waste of packaging as far as I'm concerned. At least with the Studio Series line, we have like the backdrops in there, like that's a display option. I think that those boxes are unnecessary as well, like a blister card hung on the rack for those is fine, man. We don't need boxes for these deluxe sized figures. Certainly didn't for this movie line, especially when we have had a price increase that, at least in part, is going to be attributed to that. It's more expensive to produce higher quality packaging. It is what it is. Nevertheless, it's kind of what we have now. This, as you will see from the Last Night line, is not the same quality as what we're kind of getting from the Studio Series. It's not the same. It's just not. But he doesn't just come with this box, he also comes with this set of instructions. He's similar to his Age of Extinction version. A couple of minor differences, but like they're all right instructions. I think if you know the Age of Extinction Crosshairs, or the repaint of him as Hot Shot, I think, we all know it's tracks, come on. I think you'll be able to figure this out. It's not that different. And perhaps one of the best parts of this figure are the two nicely sculpted little blasters that he comes with. They look good. They really do. They look very nice indeed. And as you can see, he holds them quite well. It's a strength that he has, I'll give him that. Now, they do have a place where they, I guess, secure and hide in robot mode if you don't want them in his hands. It's arguable how effective it is. A lot of people have complained and said, hey, they just kind of pop off easily. And really what we have is a little peg on the inside here, a little rectangular peg kind of down inside of his trench coat door piece. And we have a little rectangular slot. Actually, we have 3 rectangular slots here, but the smallest rectangular slot is the one that's supposed to go on over that peg and secure it into position. Okay, I have that one on, and then this one over here we take off. And we put that one on, and on mine, like, they actually hold pretty securely. I don't find that they come off super easy. I mean, I'm tapping on it, it's not coming off. I'm tapping on this one, it's not coming off. So I actually find that that's something on mine that I lucked out with. Here he is next to the earlier incarnation of himself. Well, so to speak, this is the mold that was used for him. This, of course, is the repaint of the earlier Age of Extinction Crosshairs into Hot Shot. We all know it's tracks. Come on, we all know it's tracks, but they can call him Hot Shot if they want. It doesn't change the paint scheme. I looked at him back in episode 61, and I think I forgot to put out his heel spurs when I done the conversion, so he didn't stand real well, but you put those out. I guess it helps. Still not a good figure as far as I'm concerned. I don't think it's fun. The new figure does have molding changes, for example with the hands. This guy actually has a piece coming in over his hand. It's part of the door. I think the changes that they made with the Last Night version of this mold were intended to improve the conversion and whatnot. I think it's arguable if it did it. You know, maybe not. I think the body is mostly the same. The feet might be the same. They might be slightly remolded, but it might be the same. We can take this guy and turn him around. We can see that the backpack on both of these is pretty significantly different. I do think the backpack has been improved. And I do like that no longer are the kind of front pieces of the trench coat soft rubbery plastic like they were on this guy. I don't think the soft rubbery plastic worked very well for it. I really don't. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'd hope that the Last Night version would be a nice version of Crosshairs to have, of movie Crosshairs, but I don't really think that it's still very good. So with that said, how about we get into giving this guy some grades? First and foremost, what about his paint? Well, first and foremost, out of packaging, we have largely a big sea of green for this guy. Now, his entire foot was silver, his entire torso really was silver, some black highlights on the shoulders, and kind of in here on his trench coat piece, but that was about it. Like the arms themselves, they were all silver. These little shoulder pieces, they were all silver, or green, I mean, sorry. His arms were all green, and those little pieces were all green. It was a sea of green. Green, you know, just saying. It did not have the richness of color that the Age of Extinction version had. That's for sure. I also feel like the plastic feels a lot cheaper. This guy feels a lot lighter than the earlier mold. At least it does to me. I don't think it's constructed as well. And I feel like you can actually feel the difference. Maybe it's just me, but that's the feeling that I get. I hold the earlier use of the mold, and at least it feels like it's not good, but at least it feels solid. This doesn't feel solid to me. I added a bunch of paint apps. Now, something worth noting. First of all, his chest, apparently that's supposed to be like the grill hood of the car mode. Like, I had no idea until it was very recently pointed out to me by Tynificent, a good friend of the channel. Ty is a great guy, and I appreciate him pointing that out because I don't think I ever would have noticed. You can get like a repro label set that vastly improves this guy. I have seen some stupendous repaints, but I just wanted to touch up a few things without going kind of overboard. So I put some extra silver on his forearms and his hands and his biceps. I added some red details on his biceps and in here on his body. Some red also kind of down on his legs. We have a bit of blue added out here on the side. The kneecaps are now silver. I colored in his goggles up on top of his head. I think that you knew it was Crosshairs because of the molding, even though the paint apps weren't great. I would have originally given him out of box. You're going to recognize that's Crosshairs. It was about a 7. With what I did, I think it's probably about an 8.5. With what I know some people have done with him, he can easily be a 9.5 or a 10 if you put the effort into it. So right now, for the version that I have here with the work that I've done, I'd say as a representation of movie Crosshairs, he's about an 8.5. I did use some images like as a frame of reference here to kind of help me out a bit. Maybe there's some things that I could have done in a darker color, like a gunmetal gray or something like that. But I'm pretty happy with the way he looks. 8.5, I'm cool with that. What about his articulation? The head, it can go left and right a little bit, but and not really up and down. But I find it's held up a lot by his like shoulder pieces. The arms, they can go out. I feel like better than they did on the earlier mold. They can go forward. Oh, there was foot one to go forward there. They can go forward. They can go back all right. These shoulder pad pieces move, I think, easier than they did on the earlier use of the mold. The bicep swivel is there. The elbow to over 90 degrees, so I dig that. We have wrist rotation, so, you know, I dig that. I still don't think we have a waist. No waist on the guy. The kind of jacket pieces, they can go out. You can kind of lift this out a little bit from the back. So, like, the jacket isn't as cumbersome as it was with the earlier use. The legs can go forward pretty far. They can go back only to about there because of the jacket. We do have a nice thigh swivel there. Where is the thigh swivel? Ah, I like the way that it's done too. It's kind of hidden in behind here, but it's there, no problem. We have a knee to, I guess, about 90 degrees. I guess that's 90 degrees. Yeah, 90 degrees. Can the kneecap piece move? No, it can't. we have feet that can tilt, I guess, forward, not really back. We do have a heel piece. You need to remember to take that heel piece out for stability. Like I said, when I looked at the earlier mold, I don't think I had that. His articulation, I think, is a little bit better than the earlier use of the mold. Like, I feel like his leg comes out a bit further, maybe arguably. The joints feel a little bit smoother for the most part on this guy. The arms, I think, are stronger on this version. Not stronger, because I don't think that the quality of the materials used is as good, but like, I think that the shoulders just, I feel like they work better, smoother. The head, I thought that the head moved better than it does. I don't know, it's alright. Like, it's not perfect by any stretch of imagination, but it's okay. There's things that could have been improved here. The look is alright. He's okay. 7.5. I'm gonna say 7.5. Maybe an 8. Maybe I'm being a little harsh. Maybe an 8, because he does have a lot of things. Waist would have been nice. I wish the head could move a little easier, but we'll say an 8. He's not, he's not bad. He's not perfect, but he's not bad. 8.25, that's where we are currently at. He's scoring okay. What about the conversion? Well, that's where this guy's still not going to do that great, as far as I'm concerned. I don't think it's a fun conversion, and I'm going to show it to you as best we can. I say this, just like with the earlier mold, I think that it's easier to go from robot, or from vehicle back into robot than it is to go from robot into vehicle. Because when you're going back, you really just have to untab a bunch of stuff and kind of open it up. Now you have to compact it down, and that is more of a challenge. So where will we begin? Well, I'm going to save myself a headache right now. And these tires here, I'm just going to pop them right off because they don't want to stay in at all. That's the ones up on his shoulders. That's another weakness that I've seen. The tolerance up there is atrocious. It's terrible. And they're not going to stay in through the transformation. I can 100% guarantee they will not do it. By the way, when I was talking about my paint apps, I also put green down on his feet. So, I did that. Anyway, the conversion, we begin by folding the leg in. I'm even going to take these blasters out because they're only going to get on my nerves as well. You can leave them in for the conversion. If you're lucky, they won't fall out. I'm not interested in giving myself that headache. We fold that up and fold in the heel. We turn this leg, fold it up, fold in the heel. And then the feet, you can see there's a peg in there, there's a peg here, there's a slot and a slot. So the feet now, they peg together. And it's all fantastic, right? Right. Then we can, I guess, begin to, I haven't done this guy in a while. We can begin to open this out and open this out. There's your front and your back section. And there's the top of the car, really kind of all done. We can come here to the side and fold that piece in and fold that piece in. And you can sort of see now how this is going to come together, because that's going to come down. This is going to come in, this is going to come in over and lock in. This is going to come down to the back and kind of come down over where his head is. We're going to fold the shoulder piece forward where those tires should be and angle out these black shoulder pieces so that we can get the entire, I guess, rear end of the car down. And there's a whole bunch of little tabs and slots that go in there. By the way, for the arms here, you need to bend the elbow forward so that the arm is down in this position, because it's still going to have to come down underneath the door here. The hand, however, this time is going to go in behind this section. So we're going to bring that down like that. And then we will also bring that down and bring it in. Should be able to bring it in behind. But again, the tolerances on this are not good. Yeah. You can see I'm having issues here with the tolerances. I'm just going to try and clean this back section up and then we'll start tabbing stuff in. Okay, so we had a little green tab on this section here that goes in behind the door. Same on the other side. And back here we have a couple of black tabs that tab into each other from the, I guess, reverse lights and this kind of black shoulder pad piece. And that tabs the entire back side of the vehicle together. Then the arms come up underneath. You'll see a green tab there. It goes up underneath the door and tabs in. Same on the other side. And then last but not least, we tab in these kind of headlight sections here. And by the way, this is how this looks underneath. You know, you got that going on, I guess. We take the tires, we put that there, and we put that there. And see, it does not want to stay on. Those are tolerance awful. Really, really awful. But in the end, boom, here we have Crosshairs in his vehicle mode. And right away, I need to admit that I did make a slight error. I said that you could leave his blasters kind of pegged in on the door sections. You can't do that because you need to fold those up. That's a mistake. So where is the storage for them here? It's actually kind of genius, but a little bit precarious. On the bottom of this piece coming out here, you'll notice there's a little rectangular section. That little rectangular section will go slotted in a little space on the arm, and I'll show you that now. And outlined in silver right here is a little rectangular slot in the arm. That's where you need to put that little rectangular peg that I just pointed out. So that in the end, it looks like this. And you can see the way both of them are. It's a little precarious getting them in there, but it's certainly not impossible. You can do it no problem. Now, I guess I can safely say that, boom, in the end, here we have... Maybe I can't safely say that because this piece did not want to peg in. There. Now I can say, boom, in the end. Here we have Crosshairs in his alt mode. And I'll give the guy credit where credit is due. It's a nice looking alt mode. I think it looks way better than the Age of Extinction version of the guy. It rolls nicely. We do have silver paint used on the rims of the tires. We do have more uniform paint used on the hood, and over here we have detailing on the side, and over here we have detailing on the side, and we even have the taillights painted in. I guess I know now why the robot was a sea of green with just a little bit of silver, because the paint apps really went into making the vehicle look good. Really good. I absolutely like it. I like the tinted windows as it hides the kind of robot pieces and bits. He does roll well, assuming those back tires stay in. Hopefully yours is tolerance better than mine for that. I like the storage of his other accessories up underneath the vehicle because you don't see them sticking off all over the place and kind of ruining the whole silhouette and aesthetic. I'm looking at you, Studio Series Lockdown. That's a great, that's a great lockdown, but boy, his storage is just awful. If you didn't see my look at the Studio Series Lockdown, I looked at him not too long ago in episode 412. I like him, but I give credit where credit is due here. The vehicle mode is one of the nicest I've seen. The conversion. There's a lot of little pads and tabs and panels, sorry, that need to go into one another for this guy to come together. I actually found it rather smooth sailing today. It went quite nicely. I expected that I was going to have a much bigger problem on the back and on the sides right here. Had I tried to show each and every little kind of tab section that goes in here on camera, at this distance it probably would have went much worse. But kind of tabbing the entire back end together, I still thought that getting the arms up underneath and tabbed in would be a bit of a challenge. It did go easier. I was prepared to really kind of score the conversion down, but perhaps it is a little bit easier. Maybe I've been a little bit too hard on the guy. He was getting at 8.25. I think the transformation is all right, but it's unforgivable that these back tires do come off as easily as they do. I'm going to give the overall conversion about a 7.75. Overall, this version of Crosshairs is probably about an 8. That being said, the earlier version, for different reasons, was also probably about an 8. I don't think that this is any better or worse than the Age of Extinction version. It's just a little bit different. The changes that were made, I think, were intended to make it better, but I don't know if it really worked out. It made it different. Different enough that you should replace the earlier figure? I don't think so. I don't think so. If you missed that one, are you going to get a whole new, better experience with this guy? I don't think so. If you liked the character of Crosshairs, then take your pick. Whether you like the Age of Extinction version or the Last Night version better. If you didn't like the Age of Extinction version, I don't think you're going to like this any better. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Overall, for me, he's an 8. I really kind of expected to mark this guy at about a 6. And maybe I'm just having a good day, man. Maybe I'm just in a good mood, a giving mood, and that's why this guy is getting an 8. And here we are, once again, and Crosshairs here, like I said, he's a mixed bag. He definitely needed some paint apps. I added small ones, but like I said, I've seen some awesome artwork done on him. He's mostly accurate. In terms of my blasters tabbing in on his jacket, like, they tab in all right on my copy. You know, they're pretty good. I still wish the shoulders were a bit better. These tires popping off aren't good, but the guy feels, to me anyway, significantly lighter, and the plastic feels thinner than it does on his version from the Age of Extinction film. Truth is, while that one had imperfections, and this one has imperfections, I feel like that one probably felt a little bit nicer than this one. Aesthetically, I kind of like this one better, at least in vehicle mode. Is the transformation improved? I thought I was going to give this guy, I was all set to give this guy a 6 and really kind of mark him down because I've had issues during his transformation, but for some reason it went smoothly today. Go figure, man. Go figure. Maybe it is a little bit improved. How successful? I'm not sure. Did they accomplish everything they wanted to? That's probably a little bit debatable, but here's the thing. He certainly was not worth the original asking price. I got him on sale, so like he was worth the price of, say, a regular Titan's Return or Power of the Primes Deluxe. He was not worth a premium price for that premium box that he came in. It's just not. He's not worth the premium price that we've been paying for the Studio Series line, because this is not as good as the Studio Series line. Even if you think the engineering is as good, it's really lacking in the paint applications and aesthetics department that we've kind of been getting used to with the Studio Series. Now, why did I say that this is kind of related to my thoughts about the Transformers Cyberverse line? Because as imperfect as this is, as overpriced as this is, and as much as I don't particularly think it was worth it unless you could get it on sale, it is still significantly better than anything in the Cyberverse line. I have seen the totality now of Wave 1 and the Scout class, which are basically Legion class figures. They're little Legion class figures. They're nothing great. They're no better or worse than any Legion class figures, though I do feel like that they're a little bit more expensive, maybe $1 or so around here. I don't think a Legion class figure is worth almost $10. Then we have the Warrior class or their deluxe class versions, which, Like Optimus's arm, his left arm is perpetually bent and he has no fist. Starscream has no knees. The Shockwave, I mean, that's probably pretty good, but it doesn't really have an alt mode. I think Masterfar, friend of the channel, said it best. The alt mode is really just a fan mode. It's not really an alt mode. Then we have what's called, I believe, Ultra Class, which they say is Voyager size. Maybe it is, but to me it just reminds me, and the packaging as well reminds me of like the Armor Up changers from the Last Night line, which simplified. They're nothing great. Nothing great. I will give credit where credit is due. The Optimus and Megatron at the Ultimate Class size, which is about the size of a Leader Class figure, they look alright. They seem to be okay, interesting, and seem to feel pretty decent. But I don't want a whole line that's going to really be a bunch of Leader Class figures that I don't really need. I like the look of that Optimus robot mode better than the Megatron. At least the head sculpt, for sure. I don't really like the Megatron head sculpt. But in alt mode, the Ultimate Class Megatron is really good. It's funny. Starscream girlfriend and I saw them, and she said, "Oh, they look really cool." And she said, "Oh, Megatron turns into a tank. I thought it was really cool." And then I showed her the back of the package and what Optimus turned into. And she immediately kind of screwed up her face and said, that's not right. Because it's not right. Here's the thing. Everybody will say, "Oh, they're meant for little kids." And I said a little while ago, even kids will know good toys from bad ones. I feel like that if these are meant for little kids, if the Cyberverse line is meant for little kids, then guess what? I think it's specifically meant for an age range of about 3 to maybe 7, 6 or 7. 3 to about 6 or 7. Which I already sort of feel like was being serviced by rescue bots and some of the other simplified kind of lines and toys that we've gotten. I don't know. I feel like it's trying to pull influences from a lot of places and not really succeeding. And I feel like that it is trying to be geared toward younger viewers, but I feel like they're really pigeonholing themselves to an extremely limited range. I don't know if it's going to succeed. It's not for me. It's nothing I'm going to pick up, especially for the cost that they are. Like the Ultimate Class, they're $40. You know, I mean, I guess it's all right since it's like a Leader Class figure for $40 Canadian, but like, I expect more, I guess. I expect more. I'd rather pay $30 for, you know, a Generations Voyager personally. But like I said, this, as imperfect as it is, as overpriced as I thought this line was, is still leaps and bounds better, in my opinion, than the Cyberverse line. And that's the big issue that I have with the Cyberverse line, is I just don't think it's up to snuff, and I can't really support it because I don't think it's up to snuff. Not that this was up to snuff for a premium price, but it probably was up to snuff for a regular deluxe class price that we have come to know over the last few years. Anyway, sorry for the rant. Let me know what you think about this guy. Did you like him? Did you not? Did you avoid some of the issues with tolerances that I had? He's alright. He's okay. I think I was in a good mood, so that's why I scored him as high as I did. Maybe you've had great experience with him. I'd love to know if you did. Anyway, thanks for dropping by. Thanks for giving me some of your extremely valuable time. You know it is always appreciated. And please, once again, hit that subscribe button. Stick around and have some fun with us. And I very much look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit right here inside the videos.